All right, people, let's do this one last time.
Remember how excited I was with like this big combat with vehicles going all over the place.
The toughest challenge, I think, was really about how do we respect the legacy of what came before us, but still build something that feels new.
What makes Halo feel like Halo? I feel like the answer to that question is the sandbox. Like, the sandbox is Halo.
The levels define pace for the game, how frantic it is, and they define that iconic fantasy for players as they're entering that match. What do they want to do? What type of experience are they hoping to have? What kind of combat, what kind of dance floor is there available to have that combat in?
The body of customization content that we have on day one ensures that there will be millions of customization combinations for Spartans on the battlefield. That includes things like armor coatings, armor emblems, various armor effects, down to the individual armor pieces. So your shoulders, your gloves, your knee pads, your helmet, your visor, your helmet attachments. Then you look at weapons, and we've got a whole slew of customization offerings there. Vehicles have a huge pool of customizations too. We support customization in the game. Players can do the same thing on HaloWaypoint.com, as well as the Halo Waypoint app.
The player also customizes the Spartan, the soldier inside the suit. We want the Spartan to represent the player as much as possible. They can change their body type and their voice, as well as choose prosthetics for the first time.
Coatings offer us a unique opportunity to craft some hyper-polished looks and let you express yourselves in ways you've never been able to before. We're coming at this from a player-first mentality. So what that means is that there's no random loot in this. There's no loot boxes. It's very important to us that everyone understands exactly how they unlock customization content. And we have a variety of places where they can do that. First off is the Battle Pass.
A lot of our stuff is unlocked through playing the game and only through playing the game.
For players who are new to Halo, let's help them learn what this universe is about. Some of these characters, what are they about? And help them kind of know the vocabulary that people have been speaking for now almost 20 years, so that when they come in there, they don't feel like they're behind everyone else. They can kind of come in on an even footing.
Partnering with our players on the road to launch and after launch is absolutely critical, right?
I mean, Halo's always been about the community conversation.
We want to make sure we hear our players, make changes where we can based on that feedback, make sure the game is ready for launch, and then even beyond launch.
What I'm genuinely excited about is taking the game out of our hands and putting it into the community's hands. You know, whether it's seeing what people make in Forge or the content that they're able to create with theater, watching streamers go after the game.
We feel like we've got a pretty good selection at launch and what's going to be there for our fans. And this isn't going to be something that is just a static set of items. We have some new stuff in the works already, and just can't wait to really get into that as soon as this game comes out.
New maps, new modes, new ways to customize your Spartan. Launch is just the beginning. Now we're just going to be able to talk, interact more frequently, and that's just going to be great. That is the future of Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Like a minimum FPS. So you can say, I want 60 to be my minimum FPS. You know, so you can choose, oh, I want it to run faster, but maybe not look quite as pretty, or like, no, give me the prettiest experience possible. I don't care about the frames, right?
The teams have all worked together to bring a mega low latency experience.
You need to make sure that you're set up to be able to deliver the lowest latency experience regardless of the configuration that someone's running.
Our latency is some of the lowest in the industry.
When you're making a competitive game and it's on PC, you need anti-cheat. That's all there is to it. It's got to happen.
We made a commitment early on that we don't want to have any complex DRM or anything that's going to inhibit a player's ability to play the way they want to play. And we want to respect players' privacy, especially legitimate players' privacy, right? You know, we're going to continue to evolve it into whatever is necessary and whatever our players need to have a fair experience.
Will there be playable elites in Halo Infinite?
Okay, that's another big question. You know, similar to the last answer, no, we're not currently planning on supporting elites as a playable character in Infinite. And the reason is, you know, this is a Master Chief story and a Spartan story, especially in multiplayer. We want to make sure that We focus on how Spartans battle against each other, and that it feels fair, and it's competitive, it's balanced. And, you know, we love elites, but never say never. Maybe we'll see that one day, but right now the current plan is you're going to be playing Spartans.
And the good news is we have a year-long post-launch content and feature roadmap already worked out. You know, we're already working on those things now. So yeah, some things won't land in a launch time frame, but some things, you know, will just roll out over time. That's part of this Halo Infinite journey that we're kicking off together with fans.
Joseph, you know, as part of this live service and this journey that we're going to be kicking off this holiday, not only is it exciting and important to think about new experiences, new content, but that relationship with our community, and not only the feedback, but our ability and our commitment to being open and honest and just sort of making sure that we're in this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so to that end, one of the reasons that we're here today as well is I want to talk to you about the campaign side of the game, specifically campaign co-op.
Unfortunately, as we focused the team for shutdown and really focused on a quality experience for launch, we made the really tough decision to delay shipping campaign co-op for launch. And we also made the tough call to delay shipping Forge past launch as well.
Well, Joseph, I mean, clearly this was not a decision that you or the team has taken lightly, right? I mean, we know this is just an integral part of the Halo experience. So can you just talk through a little bit of kind of just the why, like why was this decision?
You know, you and I talk about this a lot, and everybody in the studio has the same conversation, which is, what is our number one priority? Well, our number one priority is making sure that whatever we ship, whenever we ship it, it meets the right quality bar across all platforms, Xbox devices, PC in all its different configurations. And when we looked at these two experiences, Campaign Co-op and Forge, we made the determination they're just not ready. You know, and as a studio, we don't want to ship things if they're not ready, so people can play them, have fun, have a nice, stable, performant experience. So we're going to keep Campaign Co-op and Forge in the oven for a little bit longer, and then when they're ready, we're going to release them as part of our seasonal roadmap next year.
You have a situation which is very common. Two guys get into a fight. Is there a way to mix that up?
Say you start getting hit by a battle rifle from behind. Let's say you have a bubble shield, you drop it, all of a sudden you're completely shielded from this guy who is firing on you. Or you have a trip mine and you realize a warthog is barreling towards you. You deploy the trip mine at the last second. And yes, you die, but you take out those damn bastards that just ran you over.
Competition.
Competitive as possible.
Very competitive.
Really competitive.
Competitive.
I'm certain we can all agree that Halo Infinite is in a state we do not want it to be in. After 6 years of wanting a more refined experience than what was offered in Halo 5, it should be expected that 343 would have found the perfect formula for Halo Infinite. This company is no longer in its infancy, and with every release of their iteration of Halo, it seems they only push the fans away. It has come to light that 343 finally admitted to focusing on the broader audience. But what exactly does that even mean? Especially for us fans who've been committed to this IP. Are the core Halo fans not good enough to be catered to? Or does 343 think that us Halo fans can't bring in new members to this community? Unfortunately, it seems those questions have already been answered. The team at 343 was always going to fight an uphill battle. With each title making innovative strides to make each sequel feel fresh and also familiar, Bungie had the formula that built the foundation for years to come. Don't get me wrong, not everything was a hit and Bungie was heavily criticized for their misfortunes, but to have the foundation given to you and not use what's already made the franchise a success was the formula for disaster. Halo Infinite should have been a love letter to fans, new and old. This is going to be the Halo of the decade. With all the previous feedback and assistance from Forerunners providing their input with the game, you'd think 343 would consider what they had to say. This game should have been the Smash Ultimate of Halo. Does 343's broader audience want to wait 10 years to play a finished game? With every game that has released or have been in development alongside Halo Infinite, everyone has suffered an improper workflow due to the pandemic. That is 100% understood. With that being addressed, why would 343 attempt to launch their game so bare bones? Remember, they tried to release this game before the fans demanded a delay due to the poor quality we saw in the Halo campaign preview. Just imagine what we would have gotten. Almost everything that was mentioned in marketing does not exist in the final product, nor what was going to be there to begin with. There's no Forge, no co-op, no file share, no career progression system, no additional playable characters, no meaningful rewards through gameplay, no amazing PC experience, but hey, we have HCS skins in a full functioning store. During its beta. Apparently, it was never the community that sold Halo. It was the esports that sold Halo. Forget all the memories you had in custom games with your friend or being a part of an amazing machinima project. That's not what the fans always mention when they talk about Halo. They talk about the same generic 3-lane maps with the same 5 weapons and playing the same couple modes over and over and over and over again. Now that's the true Halo experience, right? If there's one thing 343 is really good at, it's pulling on your Halo heartstrings.
Instant nostalgia, right?
Call me a clownfish, cause they really had me reeled in. They really proved that they're the masturbators.
So, what is this all about? You just making a video to rip a new one in 343, you Bungie shill?
Honestly, I don't care who makes Halo, as long as it's good. I just wish we saw Halo Infinite in a better version than what we have. Just to clarify, I'm not a game developer and I understand things are much more difficult than what it seems. I am just your everyday, average gamer. But to make this video series digestible, I will be addressing the concerns I have with Halo Infinite by category and providing a subjective solution. The first video in this series will be focused on character customization, so I hope you continue to follow along with me on this multi-part video series where we try to fix Halo Infinite. My fellow Spartans, welcome to Halo Fixin' It.